There is some massive fear in the cryptocurrency space right now. I am noticing the Bitcoin price just went below $43,000, and when checking around the interwebs, people are fearful, people are uncertain, and it's driving me crazy. That's because, guys, I've already told you, I think over the medium term here, things are going to turn out really well for Bitcoin. The only thing that's quote-unquote uncertain is the shortest of the shortest term. Still, though, we have a couple of days to recover and actually get those prices back into the green if we don't end up negatively by Sunday, like I talked about in my previous video. Now, in regards to long positions, short positions, for myself, I'm still more inclined to go in long, but the problem is we still have some room to go down to about $40.5 thousand. So we're just going to keep our hands off and watch this unfold as the crypto space is going absolutely mental right now. Having said that, there's one important, very important thing that you guys all got to know. And that is that in times like this, you got to realize for yourself again what cryptos actually have the fundamentals and which coins are just there for the, there's a couple of coins I don't want to measure, or at least I don't want to call out right now, that I honestly think are really bad and not something you should be holding, but definitely could do good in terms of price. But there's a couple of coins as well, like Vechain, Matic, Chainlink, XRP, or even at this point, Decentraland, that just have solid fundamentals. And if you're not holding them, I think you are missing out. Having said that, take a look at Vechain. Fashion, food, finance, fuels, even floor tiles. Blockchain will disrupt all industries in the years ahead. We tend to overestimate the near term and underestimate the long term. Vechain's growth will be exponential. The process is already in motion. Web3, DeFi, VET, and SDGs. Let's check this out. Vechain themselves put over on Twitter. Not sure. This is the official one. We are pleased to welcome Sean, a premium ginseng snack provider in China, producer, to the Vechain Thor 2-chain platform. Using our technology, producers can share their stories, demonstrate quality, and enhance brand perception. Vechain Thor transforms data into value, Web3 blockchain. These guys are not taking it lightly, guys. I am so excited about Vechain, and I really want to portray that even more to you guys. These guys are just doing good every single day of the week. And the fun part is, I think Vechain is going to be one of those first projects to really decouple from Bitcoin, as it really doesn't have too much to do with it. Supply chain, it doesn't really have to do too much with the whole inflation part and whatnot, as there'll always be, let's say, food, for example, going around. Even if things get way more expensive or interest rates change, there will always be things that Vechain works with going around. The use will always be there. Having said that, two of my tokens, which are also juicy, are also being bought like crazy by whales. Take a look. Matic and Chainlink among top 10 tokens, whales are buying as the market falls. People right now are looking for coins with solid fundamentals. In a really bad time. Nobody is buying Ethereum, honestly. Why would you? Ethereum is so crazy expensive and it doesn't really have the craziest price potential in comparison to some other altcoins. And then also, in times where things get crazy, why would you actually go for Ethereum, right? Then again, if we're looking at it, it's the most bought token every single time of the week. But that's also why I'd like to kind of digress this and say, or kind of like put it away and say, hey, there's just some big guys who are manipulating the market with Ethereum and Bitcoin. So let's leave it at that. Here's the tokens that people are actually buying because they see something in it. Gala, because again, it's really high up on the Metaverse, so people really wanted that right now. We have Matic, which obviously is the layer 2 for kind of making Ethereum better. Chainlink, because it's the center of all DeFi. And right now, a lot of people are moving over into DeFi, which is, of course, why they're going for these two as well. As DeFi right now, obviously, is one of the better sectors because you can always get yield there. And another one you can see quite a lot here, Engine, Xe, Gala, is the Metaverse realm right now. Wow. Little stutter right there. Like I just said, got a little article on the NFT space as well. Samsung entered the Metaverse, opening its flagship 837 store in Decentraland. Not so sure what I think about that. I think a lot of these things are really not yet ready for the adoption, which they kind of are preparing for. Then again, it is a good initiative as these bigger brands getting into the Metaverse and getting into, I guess, cryptocurrencies. It's a really nice step forward. We already saw the partnerships between Cardano yesterday. This is also just a step towards the right direction. I'm liking all of this. All that we're seeing here, I'm liking it. Then again, guys, remember, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and make sure you press that like button. I'm going to do some pretty big giveaways soon once we get to 150k subs. And right now, we're a couple hundred people away from 140, at which we might also do a small little giveaway as well, if you guys press that like button like crazy. Having said that, let's go on. New York mayor makes case for buying the Bitcoin dip. I actually just got a little message of one of my people leaving for a flight. I'm going to say good luck real quick. All right? Good luck. What do you say when somebody's going to leave for a flight? Have fun. Good luck. New York mayor makes case for Bitcoin buying dip. Fun fact. All right, I saw a couple of articles about New York. One of the things he said was that he wants to get his first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. He said that a couple of months ago. Right now it's being reiterated. However, when checking out all the comments on these articles, people were saying, well, New York is kind of hypocritical because they're so progressive on it, being so fun about it. But in reality, New York is like one of the most restrictive places in the world for buying crypto and going through with it. At least, maybe not world, but specifically in the United States, they're really not doing so good. So it's kind of a fun little situation. But then again, maybe it's just to move it to the right direction where with the mayor right now being excited about it, maybe that's going to also portray over into the rules for buying crypto and transacting crypto and whatnot. We'll know. Then the Fed rate hike plans leave Bitcoin and the broader market under pressure. I actually wanted to kind of talk about this at the start for if you're wondering still why the crypto market is moving down. There's obviously a very big scare. The only question I have in my mind is why is it still moving down further? It doesn't make any sense. Which is why I kept telling you guys, I think honestly that buying is the better idea. And if the price goes down after you bought, then it's most likely being manipulated that way because, well, the stock market fell yesterday and that little fall is over. Why would it then fall further? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because Bitcoin is weak? No. Bitcoin and the broader market suffered at the hands of the Fed. A Fed battle to curb inflation may well further impact the crypto in the near term. That's what you got to watch out for any further announcements. Maybe people are selling it because of that, but that doesn't make any sense because then in stocks, the exact same thing should have happened, which it didn't. So once more, doesn't make a lot of sense if you ask me. Then again, on that other side, billionaire investor Ray Dalio says allocating up to 2% of one's portfolio to Bitcoin is reasonable. I think there's also a fun little contrast of this percentage getting higher and higher as time moves on. At first, a lot of billionaires say, no, you shouldn't go for crypto. Then they say, no, you should only put in 1 to 5%. And then eventually it's going to be, no, only 20%. As for example, a lot of German banks also a couple months ago were allowed to invest about 20% if they wanted to. But let's quickly check this out. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio says allocating up to 2% of one's portfolio to Bitcoin is reasonable. The hedge fund titan made the revelation in a recent episode of the We Study Billionaires podcast published earlier this month. Dalio also touted Bitcoin and gold as inflation hedges, which again is not the case right now. Maybe gold held up better. Didn't actually analyze that just quite yet. But he said, I think that's right. Dalio said when pressed by host William Green on whether allocating 1 to 2% is reasonable in the ballpark, as one suggests by fellow billionaire and investor Bill Miller. And then also we got this one right here. I'm not nervous in the medium term, but we're going to have a lot of volatility, says crypto bull Novogratz, as Bitcoin adds to Fed-fueled tumble. And the long story short about this one, guys, that the near term is going to be really interesting for Bitcoin / cryptocurrency as a whole. Because in reality, we want Bitcoin and we go for Bitcoin because it's the most major inflation hedge. But then if we're looking at the real numbers, every single time that there's some scare of inflation or some interest rate changes, basically, which theoretically speaking should be good for Bitcoin, in practice, it does not show the positive signs that we were expecting. So volatility, definitely to be expected. We talked before about the little ping pong that the Bitcoin price is playing right now. And if you're wondering why I talk so much about Bitcoin, it's honestly because I really want you guys to do well in times like this and don't panic. But Bitcoin is still king. And obviously, if we're talking about inflation hedge, Bitcoin is the first thing I think about. You know, XRP and all those other coins, which I'm really excited about, they come second. As with XRP, guys, you got to remember, I'm really not worried for a single second in any freaking day of the week. The reason I'm not is because I know where they're headed. I know the full process. I know the full story. And as I said at the start, you got to look for fundamental coins that are, good for a longer term. XRP is one of them for me. But then again, it also is from the perspective that we have a lawsuit that's finishing itself in about 6 months or so. Regardless of where Bitcoin goes right now, even if it goes to $20,000, I think XRP is going to have some just almost malicious pump, just some crazy pump where you're going to call your parents and kind of, shout in their faces for not believing in you, type of movement. Once we get that lawsuit, set of my own thoughts. And so I'm also really not too worried about all this stuff. If you are, just think about it from the perspective of a flash sale and be happy that you get a chance to buy some crypto this cheap. As when Bitcoin got to 69,000, I got a little bit scared, Right now we're back into prices which I can cope with a little bit more to accumulate crypto. So I'm personally feeling a lot better to get myself more crypto at this point to hopefully become some crazy multi-billionaire once we go up towards the top yet again in the near future. All right, guys, if you're not following the channel just quite, you don't know what I just said, right? Make sure you follow it and let me know down below what type of crypto news you'd like to see next. Here I got a lot of diversified stuff. I've found different news around the entire space, just everything around. But if you have anything else you'd like me to cover, make sure you put it in the comment section down below. I'll get to it. I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. I think we covered everything. Yes, later today. Thank you guys all so much for watching.